So now comes a part that I'm really pleased to announce because it is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to Carolyn. Carolyn will be co-coaching this experience, and her specialty is journaling. So with her journaling practice, she will be adding just such richness to the program and making such a strong contribution to your experience. Let me pass the microphone on over to Carolyn so she can introduce herself.
Okay, wow. Thank Trina. Wow, what a glowing introduction. My goodness, because I can say, honestly, when you approached me to join forces, I was really honored. We've known each other, for a number of years, and we have been really wanting to join forces since the beginning. If I remember, and unfortunately it didn't work out. So I am just thrilled and very much honored to be finally working with you on this. I think it's a very, very powerful program that you have put together that I know will benefit so many people, because especially now we are most of us, feeling, as though we're in this upheaval.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Then, add to that our own personal upheavals.
Precisely.
I think this is the sort of program that we've really been waiting for to happen, so that we can start really going inside, being led and guided inside, as a way to respond to these internal and external upheavals. So, we are grateful that you have had the insight to do this. So that said, I'll just give a really quick introduction of myself. I'm Carolyn van Es-Vines, and you can find me at Writing for Self-Reflection on Instagram, and also that's my website. So we get that out of the way. And what can I say? I am a certified professional life coach. My background was in academia, so I studied literature. So or Latin American literature. Now, perhaps that's where this passion for writing came from, although I did just academic writing. But I came to coaching via the writing of my own life story called Black and Abroad: Traveling Beyond the Limitations of Identity. And I wrote that book really, interestingly enough, it was a story that I had been wanting to read and had not been able to read because, as far as I knew, there was no story. There were not too many stories, let's put it that way, that really, got to the heart of being a Black woman, living and traveling in this world, and what are our perspectives, and how does that change us, if at all, and the reverse, how do our perspectives and philosophies changing the context in which we are traveling, particularly abroad. And it was through that process, through my own process of dealing with the upheavals, past and present, that really led me to want to inspire Black women in particular, Black American women in particular, to start questioning the constructions, the cultural constructions around our identity. And one way, there are many ways to do that, but the way that I found was the most valuable, let's say the most poignant, was through traveling.
Mhm.
And so this is why I wrote that book. And this is what brought me to coaching, because I found, okay, I would like to have a more, let's say, concrete, a more official way to help to approach
Right.
people, to approach women, to help through this process of really traveling within, because that's the journey,
Okay.
is travel within.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Let me segue from that last statement, which really resonated with me, to my first question to you, Carolyn, because you will be our expert for journaling. In connection with that journey within, what have you seen in your journaling practice to be the main benefits of taking pen in hand and really bringing your thoughts to paper?
Well, there are many benefits, of course, to doing this. Um, what I have found, for myself, and then, of course, from hearing other people talk about this power of just writing your thoughts down, um, is number one, just carving out the time and the space for yourself.
Yes, yes.
Uh, because this is, well, I'll take this back to my book writing process, because now that I look back on it, I didn't experience it this way as I was writing. Of course, as I was writing, I had a 4-year-old and a baby, so you don't think beyond
Mhm.
that, which is why it was so wonderful to just carve out that space for myself. But when I look back now from this perspective, I see that whole process was really journaling.
Mhm.
It was really just focusing on one particular memory, for example, and just really going to a memory, starting there, and just creating the story around it,
Mhm.
but in a very informal way.
Right.
Very just sitting down, almost stream of, really, I started
Yeah.
off with stream of
Yeah.
stream of consciousness writing, and just allowed myself to go there, because these were recurring memories
Mhm.
that when they popped up, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to go there, so no,
Mhm. Mhm.
no, 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 this is silly, why do I keep remembering this? Oh no, just, and I never made time or space to really stop and acknowledge the memory and just go to it,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
just be with it, let it sit, and then let it come up, and realize it's okay for it to be there.
Okay.
Because so anyway, that's one of the benefits of journaling,
Okay.
is that it gives you that space for yourself,
Mhm.
to do some deep exploration.
Okay. Thank you. Um, Many of us can look back and remember a time maybe when we were in our early to mid-teens and, on through our lives as well, when we've kept diaries. What
Mhm.
is the significant difference between the way we used to write in those diaries and the journaling process you will be introducing to the group?
Well, yeah, writing in a diary, it's such a personal thing.
Mhm.
And you know, I'm not sure how we've all kept a diary. I remember for me when I was little, keeping a diary was about chronicling
Mhm.
the days of, you know, today I did this, today, you know, such and such, you know, didn't call me back. So it was really
Yes.
um, an exercise in chronicling. And I think that's okay, you know,
Mhm.
if that's what we're called to do, if that, you know, gives us that few minutes to just
Yeah.
write it down and just get it out of our
Okay.
heads, then it does have some value. What makes my process of journaling, what, you know, kind of kicks it up several notches,
Mhm.
right, is that it's always about the emotions.
Mhm.
It's always about you can chronicle your day, but what gives it true meaning and what gives it its value is when you add that emotion. So I can say, yeah, he didn't call me, and he did this and he did that, and he,
Yeah.
but then my attention is always going outward towards he or she or it.
Yes.
What I do with journaling is then bring that focus back to inside. It gives me as a journaler the space
Mhm.
to, and not just the space, but the validation
Yeah.
to be able to go inside and really work with how that makes me feel.
Mhm.
So maybe I'm really pissed off that he or she didn't call, let's say. So
Mhm.
I go to that anger and I just go ahead and start writing
Mhm.
about that. And what I learned about this sort of writing is that the anger, for example, or any other emotion also makes itself known in my body,
God. Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And it's then incorporating that into writing
Mhm.
to just really bring the awareness to, yeah, well, right now my hand is shaking. I'm so pissed off.
Mhm.
Or right now, look at the way that I'm writing, or whatever. So it helps to bring the way that I do the journaling is always bringing the focus then to the emotion,
Mhm.
and then bringing that back to how it presents and where it presents in the
Right.
body, and acknowledging that.
Mhm.
And what that does, the more that's done in this safe space, because
Yes.
journaling is a safe space that you have created for yourself,
Self.
where you don't share it, no one reads it, you don't judge it, you don't criticize it, you just let it all come up. The
Mhm.
more you do that in this safe space, the more you learn, oh, okay, this is what anger feels like.
Yeah.
This is where it presents in my body. And this is what I normally do with it. Okay,
Mhm.
that's, you know, the first step is just seeing it.
Yeah.
The more you do that in the safe space, the more readily you are able to do that outside
Yes.
of the journaling, because then you realize that the safe space is not necessarily journaling. The safe space you carry with you inside at
Right.
all times.
Right.
So yeah, that's doing it every day.
Yeah. You know, one of the main premises of creating tomorrow, your next chapter, is it's one thing to realign your ducks, so to speak, when you've had drastic change in your life. It's a
Mhm.
totally different thing, however, to work through the emotional ramifications that you deal with when something that unexpected, unwelcome, disruptive, overwhelming happens in your life.
Yes.
And this is one of the reasons that I was so eager to have you on board, to basically share this opportunity with
Yeah.
anyone registering for the program. Now, you've
Yeah.
actually almost answered my final question by saying that, you've given the people the opportunity through the kind of prompts that you develop to first acknowledge the emotion,
Yeah. Yes.
then to see what it does to you physically. Where does
Yes.
anger sit? Where is your anxiety? What does it do to your body? And then
Mhm.
to realize that the journaling is a vehicle. In the end, the vessel are you yourself.
Right.
And that you take that with you, or can
Mm.
make the choice to take that with you.
Yes.
Can you maybe say a little bit about your process? Disclaimer, disclaimer, I'm a member of one of Carolyn's journaling circles called Journal With Me. And what really fascinated me and really had a very distinct impact on me, above and beyond the journaling practice I already had, was the cycle she takes us through with each session that I find just so, yeah, offers so many epiphanies. Can you tell us,
Yeah.
without revealing everything in one blow, but can you tell us about that cycle?
Well, yeah, I'm happy to do that. I've done a lot of reading about emotions and about how to um, feel them and how to process them. And one writer in particular, David Hawkins,
Hmm.
has really inspired and influenced this practice. And in one of his, just pivotal books called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender,
Hmm.
um, he takes us through all of the emotions, all of these levels of consciousness, let's say, because it is about, transcending levels of consciousness. And we can do that by surrendering these negative emotions. So my process is in part based on that. Because he says, yes, indeed, you can never surrender this energy without letting it come up.
Letting it go, yeah.
And in my own coaching, I got my qualifications through IPEC
Hmm.
coaching program, and it was all about the energy
Yeah.
that accompanies all emotions and particular thoughts. So just by kind of combining the two, it really is about releasing the energy of, first the negative emotions. And then, of course, we learn eventually to do the same even with positive
Yeah.
emotions,
Yeah.
where we feel it and then let it go. It's
Mhm.
like this constant flow
Yes.
of letting it up, just go ahead and feeling it. You want to recognize it, acknowledge it,
Yeah.
validate it, because a
Yeah.
lot of us feel, guilty or mad at having particular emotions, but
Mhm.
we need to be validating these emotions, because
Yes.
emotions in and of themselves are not bad. It's not, such a,
Yes.
they're negative thing. So we need to validate it. And this is what we do in the Journal With Me, we start to take a distance. And this is,
Mhm.
with the journaling and putting it into words, we
Mhm.
start giving it meaning.
Mhm.
Whether it's an event or an experience or an emotion, we take a little bit of distance so that we can see things from a different angle, and
Mhm.
thereby give new meaning.
Yes.
And once we're able to give new meaning, and it's typically from a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of energy, then we are able to get a little bit of peace with it,
Right.
so that then we can say, ah, okay. And you feel that in this, we have every month in
Oh,
the
yes.
journaling circle, this sort of release. And with that release, all this beautiful insight and wisdom comes up. And this is what, we want to let guide us, not
Exactly.
all this emotion that is, really just not helpful. Well, it is helpful in letting us know where we are, but it's okay. So now you've done your part. I'm going to let you go and have access to this beautiful,
Right.
intuition, this wisdom that
Mhm.
is there.
Mhm. And that's why I was really so eager to have you as part and parcel of the program, because I think a significant part of the work is really getting to the point where you free yourself of the burden of carrying those stale emotions with you. Whether you're trying to hold on to positive emotions so strongly that you're not opening yourself for new experience, or whether you're being burdened down by negative emotions, what you're doing is shutting yourself off from the new possibilities that
Yeah.
life offers you.
Yeah.
And I am so much looking forward to working together with you. Have you got any final words in closing for our viewers, Carolyn?
No, I don't. Just, I think we've said it all. And, I really, look forward, to co-coaching with you. I look forward to this pilot that we're going to offer. And yeah, it feels really, really good to be working with you as well, Trina. So thank you for having me, and yeah, for just traveling this road with you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carolyn. Like I said, I'm so much looking forward to this cooperation. And yeah, I'm hoping it will be the first of many.
Yes.